Dogs are one of the most popular pets in the world, yet many would say it is inappropriate to have them in built-up inner-city areas. Do you agree or disagree? A sample answer. Since ancient times, human beings, through either their melancholy and sorrow or rapture and euphoria, have always been enjoying the close camaraderie of dogs possessed with an instinct to form cooperative packs for their loyal, uncritical, and loving nature. However, a large and growing number of modern citizens, though acknowledging the current prevalence of dogs in many parts of the world, are calling for a blanket ban on canine ownership in urban centers. From my perspective, this banishment is completely justifiable, taking into account the grave implications for the pups themselves as well as for individual people and local communities. First and foremost, dog detractors maintain that these creatures are particularly inappropriate in cemented city precincts because of the reason that they scatter unsightly, unsanitary, and malodorous excrement all over the streets and sidewalks. As a result, the 50 shades of this stomach turning brown might intensely annoy urban dwellers and simultaneously degrade the city's beautiful landscape. What is more, given the massive amount of human sewage discharged on a daily basis in heavily populated regions, it is perplexing that the society tolerates this parallel problem from dogs as carrying as it does identical risks, as these canine friends are now similarly recognized as a vector of disease or vermin, hence scrupulously thorough infrastructure dealing with this in built-up inner-city areas. Take Paris, the city of lights, renowned for its outstanding beauty and world-class fashion weeks, for example. After downpours or snowfalls, the amount of dog droppings left in their wake, coupled with black slushy dirt, is breathtaking, and people are unbelievably trapped in a giant labyrinth of dog poop just thawing. E. coli count therefore drifts dangerously high in large bodies of water, viz. Lakes, rivers, and beaches, rendering swimming unsafe and ultimately contaminating the water supply. The second reason for metropolises prohibiting mutts is to remove the perils they present. Within these seemingly amiable animals, lurking the predatory instincts of wolves from whose ancestral stock dogs were domesticated. Consequently, the concentration of such potentially vicious beasts in urban centers renders attacks either superficial in most cases or occasionally lethal inevitable. By way of illustration, India, according to Global Alliance for Rabies Control Statistics, has the world's highest death toll from rabies, with an estimated 25,000 to 30,000 human deaths annually, mostly occurring in Mumbai, the largest high-octane city in India. I myself also witnessed two particularly distressing incidents. The first victim was my next-door neighbor, a 6-year-old girl, savaged by a rabid Greek shepherd. Her family, however, did not take the problem seriously, as they thought it was only a little puppy, and the girl was left unvaccinated, which unfortunately led to her tragic death just a few days after she suffered excitation, hallucinations, agitation, and hypersalivation. The second similarly affecting case was my English language teacher who was mauled by a ferocious pit bull terrier on her business trip to Paris. Fortunately, her life was not gruesomely terminated, but the attack has left some gaping wounds which eventually turned into permanent scars on her left arm. No justification whatsoever is acceptable here. Furthermore, proponents of the ban argue that these metropolitan areas are perceivably inappropriate to house such pets as canines because the downtown cores are unequivocally small and congested, leaving insufficient room for these hounds to roam around, bark, or sustain other instinctive routines without infringing on the rights of citizenry. After all, people should have a right to stroll along walkways free of fecal matter, or at least without any pooch clinging around, licking, barking, or biting their legs persistently. This is not to mention the fact that houses in city centers are often so cramped that there is not enough room to swing a cat, which is very analogous to a torture for these animals. Then, most urban owners nowadays are so occupied with their work that they often neglect their pets, causing them to be susceptible to autism, lethargy, or lack of socialization skills. Dogs are naturally much more suited to live happily in the greener, grassier, and far less paved country, or in the God-forsaken suburbs with big houses, mud rooms, doggy doors, where there is plenty of space for them to run free, coming and going as they please, chasing chickens and ducks off the leash, or pooping on some nice discreet path of their owner's lawn when it's not strewn with horrible chemicals. Another recommendation is for dogs to be thoroughly vaccinated against the disease, or in the worst scenario, euthanized in a humanitarian manner, which doubtlessly entails signing agreements with their owners beforehand. These measures are meant to control rabies, maintain public order and sanitation, and create a sound environment for the populace, hence revitalizing the downtown. Admittedly, a public outcry might occur in response to such actions, requiring adequate preparation and wise precaution before any practical implementation. Dog lovers, nonetheless, vehemently and understandably oppose such a ban, claiming they need canine companionship and lauding these critters as a great solace in urban existences fraught with solitariness and despair. This rationale is, however, somewhat lame, and what the xenophilists seem to be severely underplaying is the bountiful alternatives available they could opt for if they could really covet or crave a companion. A nice, cuddly, quiet ferret, a cute kitten, or a furry hamster could all do wonders. Otherwise, these people could effortlessly seek consolation in long-standing relationships with plentiful real human beings, because a dog at its best is nothing but a poor quality human companion substitute, I believe. Human beings are, inherently gregarious species with their herd mentality through social interaction, meaning they cannot survive if they do not forge any bond with their community. Ironically, in concrete jungles such as Hanoi, it is not difficult to catch sight of pampered pooches carried in handbags, transported in baby carriages, and dressed in colorful clothes, effectively transformed into pseudo-children in veritable theaters of the absurd. These are by no means a way to defend or dote on dogs, but a mere reflection of inappropriate assessments concerning life's priorities. All things considered, the obvious conclusion to be drawn is that excluding dogs from urban areas is a must for the sake of all stakeholders: the mutts, dog people, other individuals, and society. Therefore, it is advisable that civic leaders enact such laws barring dogs from burgeoning megalopolises so as to enhance health, safety, hygiene, and aesthetics, thereby establishing an objectively better environment for all city dwellers. And that is the end of my answer.